So, it's a quiet day in the little country town where I live. Well, it's a day when, you want to be able to appreciate the stillness of country life and song of the birds. Unfortunately, in the country, it's very hard to escape the noise of chainsaws, lawn tractors. In the winter, of course, we have snow blowers, and right now I see that somebody over the next property is doing some re-roofing, so you're going to hear a little bit of compressor and nail gun probably, which is a shame. But we have a lovely garden out here. The trees are now, in early June, the trees have come into full leaf, and quietness is the theme of today's tune. This is a recent composition by the very excellent concertina player and teacher Caitlín Nic Gabhann. Hope I pronounced that correctly, Caitlín. It's a slow march, and the title is Ciúnas, which means silence, or I suppose stillness. And that's why I thought it'd be appropriate to take you out here among the trees, hoping that the wind noise isn't interfering too much with the video, and the roofers are maybe having a tea break. Anyway, we'll go back inside. This Ciúnas, it's, as I said, a slow march, and Caitlín composed it recently for something to do with the lockdown confinement that we're currently experiencing. I think it's called the Butterfly Sessions, and she posted a video of herself playing the tune with husband Kieran Amuni, fiddle player. They're an absolutely fantastic duo. You should really check them out on Facebook, and I will give a link to that recording in the description of this video if I can find it. Alright, so anyway, let's go back inside away from the noise of the open air, and let's have a look at Ciúnas. So let's do the first part, phrase by phrase, slowly. Here's the first phrase. I'll play each little phrase 3 times. In fact, it's a good idea to change fingers to your middle finger there on the last E. Okay, the second phrase starts like this. Nice little grace note there. Okay, and the next phrase starts on the E there. Sorry, here we go. Notice I cross over my fingers there. A handy technique for keeping some spare fingers as you go up the scale. Okay, and the last phrase in this first part. Get your ring finger down on the E here. And if you have your ring finger on the E, you can hold that E for the ending there. Giving us a very nice descending chord accompaniment there. We have a chord of A and a chord of E to finish. Alright, so that's the whole first part. Shall we play it together a couple of times, nice and slowly? Okay, I'll count you in. 3, 4. repeats. So that completes the first part. Now, we just finished the second part, the first part with a nice E chord. The next thing we're going to do is play two leading notes of A and G sharp. And we're going to use this triangle here, A, G sharp, F. Let's keep fingers 3, 2, 1 on them for the moment. Play the triangle down and immediately come up. And then we go, crossing over our fingers again, putting the two together, again, next phrase, now we have a nice little descending phrase, and we're going to be doing our triangle again, except we have to go down a note below to D here. This is why I suggest that as we play this rundown, you get your ring finger on the G sharp, okay? So this is how it goes. Now let's go back to our triangle, but this time we don't cross over. All right. And the next phrase, that's what we play the first time. The second time we play, let's try that. So I have to get down to low A there. I'm swapping position twice with using my second finger, my middle finger coming into play. It's important to finish on that low A with your second finger. Another way you could do it would be take over with your third finger here. Then you've only got one shift, but it involves using the third finger. Alright, the next phrase. You recognise this is the same phrase that we ended the first part with. In fact, all the parts end with this phrase, except here we're an octave down. So we've got down to low A. Okay, let's just go through the whole of the second part slowly. In fact, we'll play it a couple of times together. All right, here we go. 3, 4. I should actually count you into 3. 1, 2, 3. Sorry about the hesitation there. I was trying to play the same thing that I showed you instead of doing something different, which doesn't always work. All right, so that's the second part now. Now, to play the third part of the tune starts on a high A up here, which gives us a bit of a problem because we've just finished down here. And you may be one of those people who can jump, did it, reliably to a distant note on the keyboard without looking. But in performance, of course, there's always a slight possibility that even if you're relying on your leap of faith like that, you can miss, and you can hit the button next to it and throw yourself off and make a mess of the tune. So we need a way to get from our low B up to high A. And here's how I'd recommend you do it. Now, an octave stretch on the pull is like 5 buttons. So B to B. But here, this B here is also our A, middle A, and then we've got an octave stretch from A, which is slightly less because it's on the push, to the high A, which is the note we want. So we can sort of go like that. You could even play the 2 A's together. Start the, I think Caitlín does that on her Facebook recording a couple of times, playing the 2 A's. That's the oral impression anyway. So we've finished the second part. So you'll have to practice that a bit, but the important thing is to be able to get that high A and be sure that you can hit the right note when you start the tune. So here's the first phrase of the third part. You got the long A. I'm using my pinky there out of laziness. It's not something I normally do. There's no harm in doing it, but you could easily do. Alright, and the next phrase is now actually, in playing that like that, we're missing out a note because the way Caitlín wrote the tune, we have a high E in the tune, which actually we don't have. So if I played an octave down, you'd hear the last note is E. And we can't do that up here, we don't have it. So what I'm doing is just holding the C sharp before it. Okay? The next phrase is actually exactly the same as what we had in the second part, but an octave up. Another sign of how nicely constructed and put together this tune is. Except when we get down there, that's a little bit different. So from the high bit, one more time. Alright, and going on, we're going to play a little triplet here. We're on E, we're going to play E, F sharp G, which means a bellows direction change, pull on the E, that's how I do it, yeah. Next note is A, so let's cross over for that. And then we finish off with our usual. And then back to. Let me play that whole third part slowly, and then we'll do it together a couple of times, okay? So. Forgive the hesitation there, sorry about that. Let's play it together a couple of times, okay? I'll count you in. 3, 4. Right, so that's taken you through the three parts. So let's play the tune together a couple of times. Count you in, 3, 4, okay? 3, 4. And Ciúnas, beautiful tune by Caitlín Nic Gabhann. Hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to go and check out the version posted on Facebook by Caitlín and Kieran O'Mooney, and you'll hear it in its full glory. They're a fantastic duo. Thanks.